welcome back to the GlenView Club. We have another terrific quarterfinal. I'm joined by Geri Viant for this match. Juan Pablo Martinez Arraya and his partner, the French sensation, Arraya-LePivert, survived a tremendous round of 16 match. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Just went over the roof.
And they're playing against Mike Cochrane and Scott Estes, the 2007 national champions. Mike Cochrane, one of the most fun players to watch. Geri, why don't you share your thoughts on this match with our viewers?
Well, I am actually sitting on the edge of my seat. I think this is going to be an action-packed match. We watched the last set of Juan and Max, who won in a third set tiebreak. They had a long three-set match.
Classic paddle scores of 7-6, love 6, 7-6.
Yep.
At one point, Max and Juan lost 8 consecutive games. We're talking about their match against Marco Grangero and George Wilkinson, who played very well. And the tiebreakers we saw was just filled with spectacular shot making and unbelievable gets.
And this is the first tournament these guys have played together.
This is the first NRT they played together. They played the Paddle Player Open, which is a Region 2 NRT, which they won relatively easily. And Max has been knocking at the door of making a big breakthrough, and I think this is it. I think Cochrane-Estes have made it through relatively easily today. Mike Cochrane is a big match player. Last year here, he inflicted Durant Parsons' only defeat to them, he and Scott Estes. And then they played a terrific match, obviously, with them in Pittsburgh in the quarters of nationals. You know, one of the key differences between these two teams is Juan's ability to inflict damage from the net. And as we saw in our last match, Johan was able to really win some points to the net, something that McKnight Rose can't. And as you and I talked about, both sitting watching the last match and broadcasting earlier, the guy's game has gotten to the point where you have to be able to get the net because the top players inflict so much damage on you with their overheads.
The overhead, the combination of spins and the placement is fierce.
And I would say Juan, with the exception of Johan, or maybe the inclusion of Johan, spins the ball as much as anybody. Now, having said that, Juan has struggled spinning the Wilson ball. I don't know whether it's in his head, and one can never tell what's in Juan's head because there's a lot there, and culling through all of it could be tricky. And I know firsthand.
That's right. How was that match yesterday? Sitting next to a champion.
We had lots of fun. I played in the 90s with Juan yesterday, and he carried me to victory. It was a great day, and he played well. I know he was a little frustrated earlier today, and we'll see what his mental attitude is. Of course, his mental attitude will be up and down and up and down and up and down, and that's just in the first game.
Well, that's, you know, kudos to Max. You know, he hung in there.
Yeah, there were a couple awkward moments, weren't there, in their last match?
He hung in there, and he actually played the tiebreak very well.
Starting with the 5-6 game when they saved match point, and Max served just a tremendous game at 5-6. Because I thought Marco and George played a good enough game to win.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win. It looked like they were going to win, but Max, I think, was a big factor. And
Marco hit that brilliant backhand down the line to give them a 4-2 lead in the breaker, and you really felt the mo was flowing their way, and then they lost the last 5 points of the match.
That's paddle.
That's paddle. There's never been a sport that momentum shifted as often as this one. So Juan and Max won the toss and elected to receive.
That's been the theme today.
That is definitely Juan's belief. We did that yesterday in all our matches in the 90s. Juan did say to me earlier he'd prefer playing with me than with Max, but I told him he'd just have to muddle through with Max. So we'll see. Mike Cochrane and Scott Estes like to move at the net more than any team in the country.
Is this their first tournament for the season?
They did not play Patterson, but they did play Atlantic, and they along with everyone else got destroyed by Broderick and Palmer there in the semifinals. So Scott Estes has a terrific serve. He hits it very hard and looks to hit the nick on a pretty regular basis. And here we go. Scott's got very much of an old school overhead, low, driving, patient. Hope we don't see too much of that, Geri.
Well, again, you know, at the high level, Scott hit those same 5 boards over and over and over, kept it deep and kept it low off the screen, so they had nothing to attack.
Two early misses from Max. Good return by Juan. Max is a terrific athlete, very quick. Great hands.
Leg cord snowboard. Watch Mike Cochrane on his overheads. You know, he gets that low ball, and this is, you know, great technique. He gets the low ball. He really rotates his shoulders around. It's the short lob. On the deeper lobs, it's more of a push overhead.
Great serving by Scott there. First game, Cochrane-Estes. They lead 1-love. Be interesting to see Juan serve. He gets a lot of spin down to the deuce court. He can hit the back wire and the side wire when he's serving right as he faults to start the match. Interesting to see if fitness is an issue here. Arraya-LePivert had a much tougher route here. There's
beautiful shot by Scott.
Yeah, beautiful shot, because Juan's always leaning to the middle. And similar to Johan, you want to hit behind him. You want to hit where he is, not where he isn't.
It's also a very high percentage shot straight down the line.
First 6 points to Cochrane-Estes. Scott Estes has been at the top of the game for 12, 15 years. It's amazing how long he's been up there. Sloppy miss by Max. And Juan's body language is bad early. Love 40. Mike misses the ball long. 15-40.
Makes that ball bite. Breaks and drops down the side screen.
Boy, he puts a lot of pressure on you with that overhead.
Yep.
30-40, still break point. Oh, Max with a shank forehand. And Mike Cochrane with, what would you describe that as, Geri? A miss.
It was a miss.
A miss. Back to deuce.
There was a little over excitement there.
There's always a lot of excitement when Mike Cochrane's on the court. And one.
Nice
Max
shot.
catches the nick.
Yep.
Love that rolling overhead. So much offense generated from the net. I think that's a great transition for us. Makes our game so much more fun to watch. Great volley by Juan. That's a big hold. 1-all. Max looks a little uncomfortable out there to me,
Yeah,
Geri.
he hasn't hit enough balls yet.
And his body language hasn't been great. A couple of misses. He got lucky there with that that mishit forehand on break point that went in. 1-all.
Well, So it's clear what Scott and Mike's tactic is when they're at net.
It's a good ball to hit. Just missed it.
Max is going to have to be mentally prepared to just grind for a bit.
Absolutely. Juan's very consistent with that two-handed shot. He goes for it and he misses it. I got to see that several times yesterday. Juan needed some more offense in this game. He was playing too passively. So Geri, you have the righty-lefty combination, assuming we're calling Mike Cochrane a righty for now.
Yeah.
You think it's an advantage or a disadvantage?
Huge advantage. It's a great cat.
Well, it's a huge advantage on the overheads.
They can shrink the court. Also on the back court, they can shrink the court. I mean, they can split and then it make it very hard. Then your speed of your overhead has to be perfect. You hit that ball too hard in the middle, there's no real safe spot.
Yeah, the only disadvantage, I happen to agree with you, the only disadvantage is on the volleying, obviously. We have the two forehands in the middle.
Right.
When I play righty-lefties, I like to drive the ball more frequently than lob it. Okay, so Juan called that ball out, and Mike said, no, it's not. It looks like they're playing a let. 40-15. I think Max needs to take some swings here early, get some rhythm. But that's not the way to do it. Okay, so Arraya-LePivert serving 1-2 first set. Yeah, Max has to find his comfort level here.
Yeah.
Certainly one of the young stars of the game, and he needs to figure out what he wants to do. Had a good fortune of playing with a couple of terrific partners. 2 years ago, he played with Mike Gillespie, who is one of the best teachers in the game, if not the preeminent teacher, and then last year with Mike Stulak, who's one of the best competitors in the game.
Right.
And he's really learned a lot, and his game has come a long way. He's also one of the quickest players in the game.
Nice move. I love the way both Mike and Scott set their paddles right by their right shoulder and then wait until the ball comes to the paddle. They don't take the paddle up to the ball, and that way they're getting that spin, keeping it deep and keeping it low in the screens.
Yeah, I think Estes has one of the best defensive overheads in the game.
See this point of the match where Max and Juan are going with their placement.
I see no strategy just yet either. Nope.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Juan made some volleys in the last match that were just not to be believed. As Mrs. Max said, 30-15. I do think the first 4 or 5 games are more important to Arraya-LePivert than they are to Cochrane-Estes.
As that returner serve down the line, hitting behind one.
It's become such a big part of our game because there's so much movement at the net. Great lob.
Yep, but it's, you know, it's very clear what Scott and Mike are looking to do.
Nope, missed overhead wide. Yeah, Juan, similar to Johan, holds the ball so long in his paddle before lobbing it, and then doesn't lob real high, but that steals time away from you because he keeps the lob lower.
Right.
40-30.
Overhead's too short. Mike pounced.
Yep, and hit a big ball, and that's ball one was better off not trying to volley, obviously. Back to deuce.
Great hands, great speed.
If Max wants to hit that hard serve down the middle to Scott, I think they've got to play Australian. Break point. Oh, he was on that ball. Back to deuce. One day we'll find out if that's a forehand or a backhand.
I'm gonna pay
Actually,
attention.
maybe we don't want to know. On the court next to us, we've got Lubao DeRose playing Flip Goodspeed and Rob Bacher, who managed to come through after a 3.5-hour round of 16. Sometimes Mike lobs lefty, sometimes righty.
Well, you know, and also he cut the tip of his finger off of his little finger the other day.
Doesn't seem to be impacting his play, does it?
No, it's on his left hand.
So either his dominant hand or his non-dominant hand.
Oh, at the end of the day, it's got to be throbbing, I would imagine.
You'd think. Another great ball by Mike there as Juan hits a bad overhead. Another break point. Great volley by Juan.
There was a series of well-placed overheads by Max.
And Max has a very good overhead.
It's too short.
Oh, great shot by Max. Boy, Mike Cochrane hits that ball so well, doesn't he? He holds it so long, takes it down the line at you. Very hard to read the ball off his paddle. I've long thought that Mike drives the ball off the wires as well as anybody in the game. Wild miss from Scott. You don't see that much. Game point. Boy, this would be big for Max and Juan to get out of here with 2 holds after being down love 40 in the first and having saved 3 break points in this game. Great shot by Mike. Change of pace on the line. That is tremendous. Back to deuce. That's a great overhead. Good dig by Scott. This is coming at you. Good volley. Mike with the one-footed leaping roundabout forehand.
Great overhead.
Yep, that was
Right
a ball
at
he
him.
forced.
Yep.
Great overhead by Juan.
Nice and deep, handcuffed him. So, Mike likes to move.
One of the things Juan has done is he's developed an array of overheads. He's starting to hit that roller. He's worked hard on that roller into the deuce side. That was more of a punch overhead deep in the court, so it's not all the same. I think for a while he was guilty of hitting too many of the same types of overheads. Another good serve by Max. There's a good ball by Max, and he finds the lead court, and we're 2-all.
The two lobs prior to that setup, he
Pushed
had
him off
Scott
the net.
out of the service box, and then took his shot.
Yeah, Juan lobs differently than a lot of the top guys, but certainly I don't think anyone lobs better than he does. He lobs in a very offensive manner, similar to Johan.
Well, I'm looking at, it's not offense, defense, it's attack and counterattack.
Fault from Scott Estes. A couple of questions about whether he's in or out, and we're replaying the point. Oh, what a get. Again. Great overheads from Scott and Mike that
Deep,
point.
low, plenty of spin.
Catches Mike Cochrane leaning into the middle.
Oh.
Look at Juan throw his hands up in the air in the middle of the point. He wanted to hit that ball, and Max intercepted it. Great ball as Mike misses the lefty volley, and Scott gives him the eye roll.
Boom, boom.
We got a lot of eye rolling going on out there, Geri.
We're going to watch the body language here.
I have to admit, Geri, I eye rolled after your last comment. I was a little concerned about it. 15-all.
Juan is throwing a lot of different looks back at them. Different heights, different placement.
Good ball by Max. Amazing the height of the ball that Max hit with so much spin on it, yet it was hit so hard. It was well in the court.
Oh, wow.
Great movement by Scott.
Look at the speed of that, right? Fast feet, slow hands. We talked about that in the earlier matches. It's so easy. You're chasing a ball and it's up there. You used to overhit it or to hit it too hard, but he just controlled the speed and the placement of it. Smart
He
shot.
catches the nick.
Smart shot.
Good communication. Max doing his job up there. We haven't seen a lot of that today, have we?
We've seen a lot of looking.
A lot of looking. 30-all. First service game Max and Juan have been in. Love that ball from Max. Scott plays off the court. He hits the dipper, and Juan followed up with a blitz. Break point. Max looking a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Juan's hitting a lot of balls behind Mike Cochrane right now.
Mike should stay still.
Great patience by Mike there. Juan misses it wide by 2 feet.
Wow. That is a tough angle to try the best of times, and we're jumping up.
Obviously a bad decision. Like how Max went over and gave him some encouragement. Back to deuce. Couple of great lobs by Max.
Yep.
Pushing them off the net.
Yeah,
Yep.
LaGroix
Well
feet,
behind the
yep,
service line.
Yep. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, Max is really lobbing the ball well right now. Break point again. Another good serve by Scott. Scott has one of the best serves in the game.
Yeah.
I think other notable lefties, Leonard Jonassen has an excellent serve. A lot of pace in it. Another great lob. Boy, is Max hitting some lobs. Oh, Juan.
He's in the middle of the court thinking he's going to go cross court.
Yeah.
You're going to run out of room. Down the line.
Game point. That time Mike Cochrane was at home.
Yep. Oh, great idea.
Back to deuce.
Ooh.
I'm not sure who wanted to hit Mike in
Really?
the head more that time, whether
Really?
it was you, whether Scott or Mike, both wanted to hit him. Another great lob from Juan.
Combinations.
Catches Scott away from his corner. Match has turned a little bit last couple of games.
Yep, because Max is really picking
Stepped
his
it up.
spots.
Yep.
Hitting his lobs, get him out of the service box.
Like that high margin offense. Oh, Juan with a risky shot. Back to deuce.
Yep,
3
2
break
all,
points saved.
deuce.
Classic
Now,
paddle game.
Notice where Mike's standing, and then as soon as the serve goes in, he steps over. You said, you know, Scott likes to serve for the nick.
Giving him plenty of space.
Yep.
Max has hit some nice touchy-feely shots this game as he just misses a lob. Another great lob.
Yeah, Max has found more height and more depth on his lobs this game. And he's going to look for that little shot.
See, Juan came over and helped him, but he didn't need the help, and he got himself out of position. We're going to do a fast commercial.
Paddleplayer.com is your go-to website for all things paddle. Articles, videos, instruction. Paddleplayer.com is your paddle authority. Visit paddleplayer.com today.
Okay, we're back. Juan Arraya serving 2-3. First set, they had 3 or 4 break opportunities there. First service game of Cochrane-Estes they were in. Scott Estes served a beautiful game. I don't think he faulted once, and they're not presenting any offense on his return to serve against them at all. Great volley. Look at Max, just right
What
there.
else you got?
What else you got? Yep.
What else you got? Too fast. That point got way too fast. I still can't really see what Juan and Max's tactic is.
Love 15.
Oh, Mike wants that one back.
Yeah, nice high ball.
Shoulder high, 2 feet from the service line.
15-all. Fast feet, soft hands.
Yep. And notice everybody has a right place to be on the court. There's a lot of transition between teams taking over the net. And everybody adjusts. The team that knows where to be based on what shot was just hit, they stay ahead of the next shot. They're not reacting to what's happening. They're making things happen.
30-15. Late call by Mike. Juan looks at him. We're replaying the point.
Oh, great return.
Mike has such great hands to get on top of that ball.
Yep.
30-all. How much of Juan's paddle hit that ball, huh?
Seamless. Mike's rushing this game.
Yep.
Speed of play is so important. And the momentum shifts in this game are huge.
It's interesting. Both Mike and Juan like to play fast.
Johan was ready for that.
Yes, he was. They played against each other enough times. 3-all. Yeah, Mike and Scott are both serving exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Juan and Max are getting very few swings on return of serve. That's a lot to give up. Right idea, wrong execution. Got to be a little further into the court for that shot. Lots of no's yelled on that point,
Yeah,
Geri. Mike
yeah.
yelled to Scott to no, and
Yep.
Scott decided to hit it, and then Scott hit a bad overhead, which Juan correctly called out. 15-all. Max cannot find that forehand.
Well, he has been lobbing the returner serves. He's taking too big a backswing. And he has been lobbing the returner serve.
Well, Scott listened to him that time. Yep.
There's a little bit of confusion there.
Amongst everybody, I think
Yep.
Juan stopped coming in
Yep.
because he thought the ball was going to be out, and it wasn't. 40-15. Good read by Max, but a little late in it.
And ball was behind him.
Another hold. So Max serving 3-4, first set.
Thing. Supposed to do it a couple of times.
Just a quick thanking our sponsors, the American Platform Tennis Association, Viking Athletic, Wilson Sporting Goods, Uline, Corona Light, Geneva Advisors, and also the Royal Bank of Canada, our scoreboard sponsor. Big return from Scott Estes there. Love 15. It's interesting to me that the match is even right now because both Scott and Mike are generating a lot of offense in return of serve, and Juan and Max not generating any, and yet there hasn't been a break of serve yet. As opposed to the last match we saw when there was break after break. Does anybody cry out more impassioned than Juan?
You definitely know where he's playing. Great overhead.
Max has great variety on the overhead.
Yeah, he was also he hit 3 in a row. He was outside of the service box. He's really letting that ball.
And then we compliment him and he
Drop.
misses it. Love 30.
Dropped a little too much.
But Juan doesn't want to come to the middle for that. I guess if you can hit that shot, you don't need to.
Mike gets down so low on his backhand.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yep.
Or forehand.
Oh,
I think that ball was going to be wide, too.
I think so.
Love 40. Too aggressive. No reason for that.
Not necessary. A guest appearance, we call it.
A guest appearance.
Max was there.
5-3. First break of the match.
great combination of overheads.
Well, back-to-back nicks helps.
But
15
they
love.
are actually aiming for those spots on the court.
Absolutely. Mike started to stay home. I think maybe he heard you, Geri. Doing a lot less movement on Scott's serve.
I mean, Scott's overheads, they're in the last foot of the court, and they are hitting the screen below Max's knee level. He really letting that ball drop.
There's a great lob. Looked like Scott lost that ball in the lights. Great lob from Juan there. 15-all. Max and another missed lob.
It's all right, just a little long, it's okay.
30-15. Well, that's a great overhead. One's blitzing there. Not sure why. Double set point, 40-15. Juan looks very happy, don't you think?
Nice move.
Great play by Max. Mike asking him, was that in? Couldn't tell.
What a great serve.
Yeah. First time Juan's taken a swing at Scott's serve in a long time. Juan misses an overhead for the first set. Okay, we're going to do a fast commercial. We'll be right back.
When you don't have to shout to get the bartender's attention, you can hear the conversations around you. When the smoking hot brunette you're taking home tonight is your wife, it's time for a light beer you can actually taste. Corona Light.
Hang on. I'm not just drinking this light beer. I'm enjoying it. Because I can actually taste it. Finally.
When you're ready for a light beer you can taste, you'll know. Corona Light.
Okay, so that was the first set. Won by Cochrane-Estes. 6-3, one break is serve. A little different than the last couple of matches we're watching where there have been lots of breaks of serve. Okay, Geri, we're back.
Okay.
Just commenting that one break of serve is a real anomaly in the fairly warm weather paddle.
Are they waiting for a new ball? No, Mike's chatting to the crowd.
Maybe they're waiting for both.
So I think Max is getting stronger and stronger in that set. As the set went along, he started to lob deeper and create some movement. Saw some chances. You know, Scott hangs off the net a little bit.
Yeah,
Blitzed a little bit, but they don't.
He still doesn't look comfortable to me with that forehand. His forehand's his best shot,
Yeah.
and he just hadn't really found it yet. He told me between matches he was just really struggling to get any feel on the ball, and I could see that continuing here. Or just not a lot of balls he hits clean. He's hit cleanly.
He's taking, I think, too big a backswing.
Yeah, maybe, but that is his forehand, and it's been a very effective shot. Okay, Juan to serve. With a fault, starts the second set off. Oh, great volley.
Great volley.
Yeah, Once again, I think this game is much more, first few games are much more important for Juan and Max to get on top. Scott and Mike, seasoned team, been through a lot, very confident. That was a sloppy decision right there. Although Mike's ability to drive the ball is almost unparalleled. As he just catches the let there. 40-15, 3 fast errors after the opening fault by Juan. Although Max hit that wonderful volley. That's a great overhead, isn't it?
Yeah.
That one too.
Hello, yeah.
Here comes the Arraya.
All right, I think one's happy now.
We have a tiebreaker on the next court between Goodspeed Bacher and Lubau de Rose. The 53, soon to be 54-year-old Flip Goodspeed, who came through a 3.5-hour round of 16 match. He is just remarkable, Geri.
Yeah.
I mean, just there aren't any words to describe him. Okay.
Scott serving.
Scott's serve has really been a big factor in this match.
Great overhead.
Yep, great overhead by Mike Cochrane there.
Great, because it was deep, low in the screen.
That's a great volley by Max there. Great lob by Mike there. Oh, beautiful volley.
Beautiful.
15-all. Yeah, Max got himself out of position there and paid for it. 30-15.
He could see that Scott was off the net.
First set in the next court to Goodspeed Bacher over Lubau de Rose, 7-6. 40-15. I don't think I'd recommend that shot for your students back at home, Geri.
Well, you know, one flipped it right at Mike's right shoulder.
Yeah, a good spot.
Yeah.
But a running half volley. Oh, and Juan misses the return there. 1-all. I think one of the things that's happened to Max a little bit is he's just getting so few balls to swing at and return to serve because Scott and Mike are serving him so well. It's hard to get any
Right.
rhythm.
Right. And he's not getting any short balls.
That was creative.
Great Nick.
We call that the dentist shot when I'm
Yes.
teaching.
Oh, yeah.
Don't hit it too often because you'll be going to the dentist if you do. 15-love. Got the benefit of the light cord there. almost hit Mike in the head.
Max has relaxed.
Yeah, Max is playing very well. He's not generating much offense.
No,
But I think that's partially a result of how well Scott and Mike are playing.
he looks more relaxed.
Oh, we got,
A half shot.
yep, not really committed to it. 40-15. I don't know who was more disgusted with that, Juan or Max.
Let it go through. If they're going to volley it at your feet, Max
Yep.
was back there.
Yep, 40-30. Love how low Max gets in that volley. 2-1. I think Max played very well defensively. But they're really, in some sense, just unable to generate much offense from the backcourt because Cochrane-Estes are serving so well. We had one break in the first set. One break in the match.
I think Max is doing a good job of playing within himself.
I think that's a great comment. You have to take what's available for you.
Right.
And some
Right.
days there's a lot available and some days there's less.
You know, he's the new kid on the block as far as this level. And I'm sure he's looking to Juan.
There's a
Great.
forehand.
See there.
Early. A couple of swings like that will give you some confidence. Love 15. Great volley by Mike. Great blitz by Max. All of a sudden, a little life, a little energy here. I think they were listening to you, Geri.
Yeah.
Great hands by Mike Cochrane.
So that series of overheads interesting. They just started to play one.
Great volley. That was some get by Max. He is quick.
There's that overhead.
Yeah, one
Great
bothered
move.
him there.
Great move by Juan.
Great
Yep.
lob by Max. Great move by Juan. 15-40. Chance for their first break of the match. Really feel like this is an important game, Jerry, that they need to get back on, to get on top for once.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh. Mishit let cord winner. You could teach that, Jerry.
Did he apologize?
Mike's very honest. He doesn't like to lie. Here it comes. Great volleys. That's a great overhead right there. Oh, good pick. Oh, an Arraya.
Beautiful shot.
Boy, that was a beautifully played game by Max and Juan. They get their first break of the match. They go up 3-1 in the second set. That backhand spin drop shot Juan hits is a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great shot.
Oh, Scott unloaded on that backhand. I think he surprised Juan with the pace. Boy, you see
Bunt return. What was that?
bunt and charge.
It was rising.
Yeah, the return, but then to follow it up by blitzing.
Overhead was too short for Max. Put it right on the service line, right into Scott's wheelhouse.
But I don't like the high risk running across the net trying to pick off the volley. I mean, if it's a bad lob, then let it go through and
Drive by.
yeah, let it go through and play it off the back wire. You're still on the point. Now you're down 15-30. I mean, it's not a hold until you consolidate. It's a break until you consolidate. Oh, that's a great serve. Boy, Juan is doing a lot of work. Like there. Too aggressive.
Right. Doesn't have to be that big.
Oh, that's a great pickup. Double break point to get back on serve. Oh,
Oh,
that ball exploded. 30-40. Scott Estes overruled that call. Replay the point.
and what was so great about that, there was no drama. Just
Great lob. Max, Juan calls you, but Juan had hit that overhead the last 3 times. I think Max was just so stunned to hear the words "you" out of Juan's mouth.
Nice.
Well, Scott confirms that call, and we have back-to-back breaks. Back on serve. So Scott Estes serving 2-3 second set. I'd be remiss if I didn't give it a shout out to Captain Canada, Max LePivert. He got that shirt when we were up in Toronto for an APTA-sponsored exhibition in September. Max won a Canadian trivia contest.
Really?
Hard to believe, I know. I could hear the shock in your voice, Geri. Frankly, I think Paul Stulak cheated for him, but we'll leave that
He
story
helped
for
him
another
out?
day. Yeah, Max couldn't have won that by himself. Oh, that's a wonderful volley there by Juan. Great exchange.
There it is.
So those
Lob short.
are the, when Juan gets that going, that's when you really see him start to really free flow. He loves hitting that shot. As he mishits a forehand wide. Scott
That's
Estes' serve is giving him fits.
Yeah, it's a great. It's deep. It's got a big kick on it.
So good speed Bacher, 1. And through, oh, great dig. Another great get. Nope, that one's long. Good speed Bacher 1 are through the semifinals, backing up their semifinals of nationals with a semifinal appearance at Charities. What a volley. Just a remarkable performance by Flip. 3.5 hours 16, and enough left to beat Lubar de Rose in the quarters. And that'll set up a rematch of last year's national semifinal with Broderick Gambino. That Scott-Estes serve is just giving them fits. They can't find any offense off of it. I think that's the first one Max swung at the whole match. 3-all. Scott misses. Rare miss from Scott. He doesn't miss too many balls.
Again, I like how Max has settled into the match. And I'd like him to hit a few more balls.
Yeah, although as you pointed out earlier, he's taken what's there. Given how well Mike and Scott have served him, they just hadn't had a lot of options. But that's part of the penance of being a deuce court player. If you're a righty playing the deuce court, you really have to let the play come to you. Unless you're from South Africa, and then the rules are different. You can do whatever you want. Except for Carl Levenott, who, well, nothing matters with Carl. But again, no strategy on the overheads.
Exactly. I was just going to say, Max's overhead, you know, pulled Mike up the court. Max should have taken that second shot and gone behind him, but one backed in, changed the plays. I'm like, I can't.
There's no rhyme or rhythm to it. 30 love.
You?
Well, he unloaded on that one. Juan with an impatient play. .40-15. Yeah, Max got a pretty good serve in addition to the rest of his game. The toss can go a little awry from time to time. Well, that was a tough angle. That's the one you were talking about earlier, wasn't it?
There's not a lot of court to work with there.
Good hold from Max. Stem the tide there. Want do we thank our sponsors again? RBC, Viking Athletic, Wilson providing the balls this week, Uline for providing us Brian, Corona Light, Geneva Advisors, and of course the American Platform Tennis Association, Isabel Caban, Rob Coster, and the inimitable Ann Sheedy, who works something like 75 or 80 hours a week, and that's only in the off season. And just celebrated her 39th birthday last month. Okay, back to the play. Mike Cochrane serving 3-4. Ooh, Juan did something there. That was an awkward looking move. I mean, Mike's volleying style is different, but really effective.
Oh.
Great shot by Scott. Mike was in perfect position and just didn't finish the point.
One is grimacing.
He did something there. Juan's played a lot of paddle the last 2 days. Great get. I know he had me on his back most of the day yesterday. Oh, Scott with a great volley. 15-all. There's the
Shoulder back.
French forehand.
Took it on the rise.
Oh, great dig by Mike Cochrane. Mike's gotten a little impatient the last 10 minutes, hasn't he?
Yep. He's in a bit of a rush.
Well, I've always wondered if Mike's not always impatient. He just makes those shots sometimes.
Started to hit a few more overheads to one this game. Oh.
But Juan got away with the last two-handed backhand. There was a little bit of a shank, otherwise he would have missed it. That one he had a little bit of an open court for, but a high-risk shot. 30-all. Max is starting to get some rhythm on that forehand. Shorter backswing. Sometimes I think we need more room in the broadcast booth.
No, I'm very demonstrative. I know. You can watch out.
Great lob. Well, Juan does like to change direction with the ball, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But I guess part of it is that lob to the middle. He feels like he doesn't have an angle to get back to the backhand, so he has to take it to the deuce side.
He's got the hit and chase then.
Good eye by Juan. Break point. But Max has really come alive in this game with his return of serve. Great serve by Mike there. Great pickup by Scott.
Oh, great.
Oh, what a get.
Volley.
Oh, tremendous athleticism. I thought Scott Estes hit a great volley behind Juan, and I thought Max had no chance at that ball. Got to be some tired legs on this side of the court, Geri.
Yeah. Big,
Okay, Juan serving for the set at 5-3.
big break right
Max
there.
played a big
Max.
game there. That's some volley. Those are some really good overheads.
I like Max on the left.
Yeah,
That was good shot selection.
Max's overhead is really good. Even that one caught out of position to hit a terrific overhead. Nope, missed it wide.
That is a high-risk overhead for Juan to hit
Yep,
from the middle
that far
of
over the court. Yep, I think Max has got to hit that ball. Mike's kind of lost some rhythm. 30 love, 2 points from the set. Mike volleys off his head. Great ball by Juan. 40 love, triple set point.
The overhead was too high on the screen, gave him the opportunity.
Oh, what a shot for the set. Geri, before we go to commercial, I have an interesting story to tell you. I was up in Boston this summer playing golf with a couple of buddies, including Johan and Jeff Morneau, and we got into a conversation of who the most likely candidates were to win a Nationals who hadn't won one yet. And the two names that came up in our conversation were Juan and Max. So Johan, in addition to being a fairly decent player, he's a pretty good prognosticator. He did miss a 4-footer to win our match that day on 18, but that's a story for another
Not
day.
that you're going to rub it in.
Okay, we're going to go to commercial. We'll be back for the third set.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
For my business, everything's go, 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 and the customer service alone is one of the most valuable things for us. We can call and the phone's picked up immediately. We never have to wait in a queue.
The phones don't ring at least half the time because they go directly into the headsets of our customer service representatives because they know we're waiting for it, and it can be a very fast transaction for them.
Order placed by 6 o'clock p.m., order ships out, customer gets that product more often than not in one business day. Unheard of.
And oftentimes I'll walk in and the staff will have already pulled my paperwork. They'll be pulling the order right to my vehicle. I'm here for no more than a couple of minutes.
Service has been great. I've been coming here for about 4 or 5 years now. I think it's a top-notch company because they work the same as I do. Very organized.
Not only are those orders going out the door quickly, but accurately.
We live and breathe reliability.
But we really do care of a product's returned. We do care if it's not working right. We try to do it better every day.
Every single person looks at customer comments. I mean, that's where we learn.
Every customer means everything.
Come to Uline because service has always been much, much better here. Always feel like you're treated like you're appreciated, you know.
We do it well. We do it real well.
They love us. They absolutely love us.
A customer, when they buy from us, we don't give them a reason to look elsewhere.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Okay, we're back. About to start the third set. Very entertaining match between Arraya-LePivert and Juan Arraya. Mike Cochrane, Scott Estes. We've
Who's
traded
ready
a pair
to
of
go?
6-3 sets.
Who's ready to go? Look at those guys out there.
Let's see with the body language. Looks a little better on the far side.
Max is ready to go.
So what do you think, Geri? What do you see in the final set?
You know, well, I just love the way that Max has relaxed and gotten into this game, and I think he's a big factor. I love his overheads when he's on the left, so I would hope that he's able to say to Juan that he'd like to hit a few more of those overheads.
Great volley by Mike.
So I think, you know, Max steadied down, and Mike got a little fast.
Yep. Pretty much know what you're going to get out of Scott.
Yeah, Scott is
rock solid.
Steady Eddie. And Juan has hit some brilliant shots.
And some not so brilliant
Well,
shots.
but I think, you know, he's got a lot of paddle. He played, you know, the tournament on Friday.
Juan is in terrific condition. And there they switch against what you'd like. And punches the volley behind Mike. That's real nice. Again, Mike pushing the envelope a little bit when not necessary.
And it's not, you know, one's got fabulous overheads. I just think for Max's confidence.
Oh, that's a great pickup by Mike and a beautiful ball by Juan. That was a heck of a point Juan played there, right off the bat. 15-30.
5:30.
Great serve from Scott. I always feel like the first couple games of the third set are absolutely critical. Establish the flow of the set, get on top. So much easier to play this game from ahead than from behind. Well, that's not a good overhead. Got away with it though.
Great overhead. Again, he's making Max play the ball from below his shins.
40-30. Thought that ball was wide. I think Mike thought that ball was wide. It looked like he stopped. Great get by Mike. Max hasn't missed a volley in a while. One catches the nick and Scott's not ready. Back to deuce. Boy, Scott's serving well. Great footwork by Juan to catch up with that ball, but Scott's got to let that ball through.
Yeah, well, I don't know why Mike changed the direction of the play.
Yep, bad overhead.
Fabulous serving.
Geri, do you think that Juan was happy with that shot? Sometimes it's hard to tell what Juan's feeling.
When he comes out of his shell, we'll know.
Back to deuce. I think that's the fourth nick he's hit this game on his serve. Great lob. Oh, Max with a great blitz and misses the volley. Should have stayed in the backhand there. Scott calls the nick, but can't chase it down. Back to deuce. Well, this game's turned into a battle.
Attack, counterattack.
Boy, another great Scott Estes overhead. Max was looking for the forehand, found it.
Built the point, built the point.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
There, yep.
Okay, break point number 3. Great pickup by Scott. No need.
Didn't have to be that good.
Back to deuce.
Again.
Oh, that's a nice volley. Like that play. I'm waiting for Max to do that. Playing a lot of balls in the Juan's corner, aren't they?
Yeah. That is a great overhead.
Catches the seam there. Oh, great volley by Mike. Oh, is that a thing of beauty, Geri? Point, counterpoint. He set that up beautifully. Beautifully. When Juan plays the game right, there is no one prettier to watch. When Juan plays the game wrong, not so much. Oh, boy, Juan played 2 terrific points there. And we're up a break. Big shout out to my good buddy Carl Levinat, the head pro at CCD. Carl's a terrific player, despite what I might have said earlier when he wasn't listening. Okay, Juan to serve. 1-love, 3rd set. That's a strange play.
He caught Mike hanging out.
Think he was trying to decide where to go to dinner?
I'm not sure.
$30 love. A lot of errors coming off of the far side of the court from Cochrane-Estes. Mike looks a little low energy to me right now.
Right. I mean, this game is such a game of momentum that you can't afford to have 2 quick errors.
Just giving points away. There's that good lob down the middle.
Fabulous lob. Yeah, Max's feet were out of the service box. Went for too big of an angle from that deep in the court.
Yeah, Mike looks low energy to me right now. He's very sluggish going after that ball. 40-15. Those aces are like oxygen. Wow, that was a strange game from Cochrane-Estes. I don't think you'll see Mike hit the back wire 3 times in the whole season. That forehand is usually precision. Okay, Mike Cochrane to serve. This big game to stem the flow of momentum right here. Interesting, they're going Australian to Max. Some good lobs there.
Scott and Mike have gone back to plan A.
Juan didn't like that one. 15 love. Great volley. Good dig by Max on the nick there. I like that confidence from Max, looking for that forehand.
Yep. Great love.
Oh, great volley. Great.
Beautiful
Oh, that
play.
was beautiful by Juan.
Play.
You know, talking about Max for a minute, it really goes to the difference in the sides we talked about earlier. The deuce side is so much more of a patient side. You really have to wait for your opportunities. You can't force it. The backhand side really controls as much more opportunities for offense.
Juan has really controlled
Well, he's
himself.
picked it up, hasn't he?
Yep.
Another great forehand from Max there. 15-30. Little friendly fire there off of Scott's paddle, but no reason to be hitting that ball. When that ball's up so high, you just got to let it through.
Yep.
Double break point. I think Max and Juan have won 5 games in a row. Make that 6. Up a double break, and the body language from Estes-Cochrane is bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
separate sides of the nets.
And we're bouncing the paddle.
Bouncing the paddle. No conversation in between. Just being informed from Johan, he's reminding me that he picked Max and Juan at the beginning of the match. I didn't hear anything from him after the first set. Did you, Geri?
No.
But he was just waiting for his moment. He knew. He knew in June when we were having dinner at the restaurant after our round of golf. Okay, Cochrane-Estes talking a little bit now, changing up the tempo. That's a good thing. 3-love.
Yeah, because the water's going down the drain fast.
Yep. Oh, Scott just comes up with those backhands out of the blue. You'll hit 3 or 4 serves there without an issue, and then boom.
That is
wow.
A fabulous angle. Great get.
That's a great ball behind him. Boy, Juan has played really well the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's got great energy.
Nope. Good ball from Scott. Love 30. What a volley. That's wide. You know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Fischl Rosali carried Carl Levenot to victory today in Hartford, Region 2 PCQ. A great ball by Mike. Double break point 540. Carl's trying to make the Region 2 President's Cup team, which was a bit of a debacle last year. I think he lost all the matches they lost in the competition. Wow, they returning well.
Crushing that return.
You know, all of a sudden. Wow, all of a sudden, a lot of good energy.
Yep.
I think they hit 3 tremendous returns that game. Okay, that's one of the 2 breaks back. 1-3. That's the ball I wouldn't mind seeing Max hit down on a little bit. That ball's coming off the wire so high. Scott's staying back. Great ball by Juan. The insincere apology. There's the danger of the left.
Well, though.
Yeah, he really is.
He's moving well.
He's in remarkable condition. See, I like the overhead where it was, and then he changes sides of the court. Some volley by Max.
Ooh, back of the line.
Yep. Be remiss if we didn't point out the sportsmanship today, Jerry. Every missed call, they agreed to play a let, played it again.
Yeah, no issue. There was no
No drama.
at all.
Just, I missed that. Let's play it
move
again.
on.
That's what you love to see.
I like to see Max volley some of those balls back behind Mike. He's hit the last 5, 6 volleys immediately cross court. Sometimes Mike's out of position if he went back behind him. Great shot.
Oh, great lob. Great lob. Caught Mike lean into the middle. Really well played. Love 30. That's the one I'm talking about. Oh, Juan was in perfect position and missed it. Great play by Max. Oh, what a shot by Juan. Double break point. Tired legs in that ball, Jerry.
He's rushing.
Yep. Okay, Arraya-LePivert up 4-1 in the third, a double break. I think you're starting to smell the finish line, Jerry.
Yeah, well, you can see the energy change in one.
And again, we have the same thing again where Cochrane changed net on one side, Estes out getting a drink. Yeah, Juan has really picked it up, played really well.
Yep.
I mean, from 3-all in the second set, it's been 7 of the last 8 games to Arraya-LePivert.
And I think Juan also relaxed when Max picked it up.
And Max really did pick it up, didn't he?
It up
That was the changer in the match.
Yep.
This is a must game for Cochrane-Estes. I mean, it's never over in this game, but don't want to fall down 5-1 in the third. See, there's a play where there's a short lob, and Mike still takes a very aggressive position on it.
Just let it go in.
Let it go.
In, slow
Why?
it down.
Yeah. Same thing, too fast. Well, Max made the volley. He's looking for too much. 30 love. That's a great return from Scott. 30-15. See if Mike can.
Mike's pumped. He's pumped.
See, I don't think that's Juan's ball.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. And then to go back into that corner,
Yep.
he just
It's such a hard angle.
He starts the chase. Yeah, I like Max on the left.
Max got a very good overhead.
Yeah.
Wow, another kind of sloppy-footed mistake. Gives them double game point, 40-15 for a 5-1 lead. First thing to go with the legs in the serve. First thing to drive off as much as Juan does, 40-30. Great volley. Another great volley from Max.
He just stays perfectly still.
Got great hands and great technique.
Great spot.
Great
Scott,
lob from Scott. Yep.
Smart placement on that lob.
Back to deuce. Great lobs there from Scott. Another bad decision from Mike Cochrane. Too short a ball to put yourself in an offensive position. Juan went right after him, and smartly so. A little stretching from Juan. Game point again. Max with another volley. I like that decision. Let the ball through.
Oh.
Great play by Max. Boy, his quickness around the quarter after all this paddle, still there.
And again, got up on that ball, little dink.
Yep, 1-5. Scott Estes looks a little disconsolate there in the corner. Not good body language, would you say, Geri?
Body language.
Head down, shoulders slumped.
But this happened early in the third set with the team.
Yep, I agree.
They, you know, as you pointed out, they changed ends on opposite sides.
And again, Max is flowing, hitting the big return, coming in behind it. Mike with another impatient swing. Great ball by Juan. 30 love, 2 points from victory. Love 40. Boy, the air has gone out of the balloon, hasn't it, Geri? Look at the body language. Scott, hands on hips.
Yeah.
It's time to get the car started. Oh, Max, a little impatient there. 15-40. Still don't have 2 more match points. Good lob. Juan hits that lob better than anybody. And he finishes it with an Arraya. 6-3, 3-6, 6-1. And Geri, we have seven of the 8 national semifinalists are back playing tomorrow. So we're going to go to fast commercial, and we're going to get an interview with our winners.
Wow.
PaddlePlayer.com is your go-to website for all things paddle. Articles, videos, instruction. PaddlePlayer.com is your paddle authority. Visit PaddlePlayer.com today.
When you don't have to shout to get the bartender's attention, you can hear the conversations around you. When the smoking hot brunette you're taking home tonight is your wife, it's time for a light beer you can actually taste. Corona Light.
Hang on. I'm not just drinking this light beer. I'm enjoying it. Because I can actually taste it. Finally.
When you're ready for a light beer you can taste, you'll know. Corona.
A little closer, guys. I'm back with the winners of our last semifinalists, Juan Arraya and Max-LePivert. Max, I think Juan's too tired to comment right now. Give us your thoughts on the match.
You know, it was a good match. It was we had to play smart because we had such a long match in the 16s. We decided to play slow and pick our spots and take our time. Unfortunately, we were a little tired, so Juan did a lot of poaching off my shots, which I'll make sure you'll pay the price at some point for taking a lot of my balls. But he played great. He pulled it together. He had a lot of offense, and I was just setting up a lot of points.
You know, both Geri and I were very impressed with your patience. First time on the big stage. Both Scott and Mike really served you well, but you were patient and you waited for your offense, and the tide kind of turned at 3-0 in the second set, and you guys ended up winning 9 of the last 10 games. And you really started to find your offense and find your forehand, and I know Juan likes his partner hitting his forehand.
Yes. Well, you know, Juan made a great point. I've been hitting up on the ball the whole day. I was just having a hard time driving down on the ball, and he told me to step up into it a little bit more, take a couple steps forward so I could take the ball, you know, a little higher up above the net and start hitting down on it, which is what I did on a couple of returns. Just having a hard time finding my groove, and he was very patient with me today, which I'm very thankful.
Juan was patient?
He was, I have to say. He was a very good partner.
So Juan, you're now 8 for 8 in Chicago this weekend. Let me ask you a serious question. Do you enjoy playing with me more or Max?
Neither of you. With Leonard more. No, actually, fun weekend. Different styles, you and Max.
Just a tremendous effort. I mean, to play 4 matches yesterday and 4 more matches today, a 3-hour match with Marco and George, which was a spectacular array of shot making. The tiebreaker itself was breathtaking.
Yeah, the truth is, the first set in this match, I was really exhausted. Then Max gave me a banana. I don't know, maybe that banana was from Colombia, had something else inside, because all of a sudden I felt much better. It's one thing that I learned from Alex Banchila, my former partner, is that once you lose the first set, you have to try to win the next few games, because otherwise, if you just press and lose the first few games and you feel like you're catching, you're trying to catch up, and then you end losing. So we tried to focus, and we went 3-1 in the second set. Then they came back to 3-0, but it's very different than trying to stay. I mean, we went ahead, and then, like you said, we won the last 10 games. 9 games out of the 10.
Yep.
I think that was key, to stay focused and not just give up the match when the second set started. And but once again, I think that banana had something.
Well, I know that last night in our latest episode of Screenshots, you predicted, and we both predicted, you guys would be in the semifinals. So thanks for making us right.
Well, that show is coming up soon. I posted it, but there was a mistake, so I'm gonna upload it now, and you get to see that actually were we right in all the semifinalists?
I'm not sure we had good speed in Bacher, but sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
2 out of 4 is
Yeah.
not bad. Okay, guys, congratulations. Great effort, and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You got it.
That's all from Chicago for tonight. Good night.